A Frenchman, a Greek and an Albanian are on a plane. Who is the pilot? How is he flying that close to the buildings? Make it a balloon in fog and it could work. Flight path doesn't make sense. I love sticking my cock out the window of airplanes. Makes it feel like a blowjob, says the horny Greek. So the other three dudes try this too. Soon the pilot joins in. As they reach the climax, the plane crashes and everyone dies. Every time Albania is mentioned I get PTSD from driving from Montenegro to Greece, 2-lane roads that become 5 lanes. A wingless plane. A flexible joke which can be transported geographically to suture those of you complaining about its practicality. It's a joke FFS. Everyone knows you masturbate. I once indulged in a very edgy, 20-minute-long session, didn't think anyone was home. And when I say indulged, I allowed myself to go wild, moaning and groaning, everything. Immediately after I let myself climax, I heard a deep sigh from the other side of the room. My poor dog had been trying to sleep the whole time. Wait until you hear about what mommy and daddy did, because I tell them when. Of course they do. I force them to watch. Knowing that you masturbate is one thing. Knowing that you're masturbating is quite another. This is a perfect example for an information cognito. Your mom, dad, etc. realizes this, they will probably feel disgusted, even though they always knew that you do. Depends on the realization of the fact, not if you know it. That's what I like to think about when masturbating. They don't know where I do it though. If they knew, they would be shocked when they come to my house. I hate public transportation. I once had to watch a homeless man masturbate on a train for 45 minutes once. What stamina. I watched a homeless man masturbate for an hour on a bus once. I have to say, those mirrors come in handy. Kudos for the homeless guy's arm stamina and determination to finish the job. That's stamina. Should have gotten some tips. And that lady with the mirror sitting in front of me, how obnoxious. That had to be Philadelphia, smiley face. What makes you think I'm homeless? Why were you watching for 45 minutes? At least you didn't have to once watch him twice. Just wondering. But why were you watching? He must have taken some ecstasy and Viagra to keep that interested in himself for 45 minutes. Does 2 onces equal a twice? You had to do it? Endurance. I'm a tech organizer and labor activist, and one of the founders of the Solidarity Union. Apple together. AMA about unions, labor organizing in the tech industry, or organizing. I'm big on unions and labor. My questions are: 1. What material successes have you had with your efforts? Like, do Apple workers get paid more now because of you, kind of thing? 2. How do you earn a living wage as an organizer? Do you get donations from other unions or something? 3. Do you interact often and directly with politicians? I'm definitely pro-union for labor and trades, but it seems to me that high-paid white-collar professionals wouldn't even need unions. Are they even really useful for such privileged positions? Masturbation is more taboo than sex, but one of those happens far more than the other. I've never been told not to masturbate, and I grew up in a very Christian household. I've never been seen, but I'd be surprised if they didn't know. If you tell a bunch of passengers aboard a commercial flight that you're going to the bathroom to join the Mile High Club, they celebrate. You exit the empty bathroom after 10 minutes, they recoil in horror just as quietly. Not sure where our lives or how they were raised, but most modern civilization doesn't care about masturbation unless you're in some heavy-duty religion or cult. Taboo for who? Your weird god? So does mentioning anything sexual in this and ask credit just equal free karma? Why is masturbation taboo? None of those are taboo. People are just awkward when talking about it in public. It's not taboo and actually a healthy habit. Not if you are doing it right. Each works well, so why not both? My wife and I had this huge argument as to which vowel is the most important. I think you won. Why would you do that? Either thoughts. How has Vanna White stayed so slim all these years? Regular, frequent vowel movements. But nothing compares to you. You think you won? Oh, I see. Embarrassed smiley face. If you think that, then you certainly didn't. I'm 80. You would say that. Anyone else who finds the vowel movement in the comments section disturbing? It is your wife that you got into an argument with. You never win. Between you and I'm still undecided. Did you? Deep in my vowels I feel you. I.e., you are awesome, dad. No matter how many times we exercise our dick, it never gets any bigger. Our dick? Is there one we all share? You're right, they don't. The reason is that dicks don't contain muscle, which is pretty much the only type of tissue that gets bigger when exercised. They get hard from being filled with blood. For your dick to get bigger, the blood vessels in it would have to get bigger or at least longer, and you would need more blood to make it hard. That could be very dangerous, if continual growth from exercise were a thing. Your dick is a balloon animal that only has one design. That's why. Think about what happens when you overfill a balloon. Bob, yeah, I make mine do push-ups every day until it throws up and no increase. You mean like your brain, heart, intestines, or other organs? Paying for online dating apps is an ugly tax. I hate this whole damn existence. Not an ugly tax, it's exposure tax. I'm a semi-attractive male. I pay the Bumble Hinge fee occasionally so that I am not wasting my time swiping much at all. BC then I can see who the 100 faces who already swiped on me are and pick accordingly. Saves a lot of time, which is worth more than the $20 or whatever to me. Why is everyone on this sub a smartass that always tries to prove the op wrong? Not really. It's a male tax. It's a lazy tax, not an ugly. People have been multiplying for millennia. No. Because no one forces you to pay that. Unlike taxes. I gave OkCupid $12 and met my husband right away. He did the $12 plan, too. Tinder's bad, MK? So this corporate lawyer comes into his office. Lawyers are like bankers. Both know the cost of everything and the value of nothing. Truck driver later that day to his wife, look what a nice watch I got. Things got out of hand quickly for the lawyer. Good thing he was unarmed. My left arm floating off into the distance. How am I supposed to operate my digital watch now? I tell this joke with my beamer in the middle instead. And I love telling this joke. And the ironic thing is the lawyer is the one at fault and is liable for damages to the truck. I heard the joke in 1986, so I'm guessing it's older than you, lol. How'd he lose his left arm when getting out of the driver's side? Wasn't this joke for a BMW driver once upon a time? Till a banyan tree in northwestern Pakistan, which was put in chains by a drunk British Army officer after he placed it under arrest during the region's oppressive colonial period, continues to bear the weight of its metal bearings despite a lapse of around 120 years. Till that during British occupation of Pakistan it was unlawful for banyan trees to move. A board on the tree still reads, "I am under arrest." One evening a British officer heavily drunk thought that I was moving from my original location and ordered mess sergeant to arrest me. Since then I am under arrest. Listen Jerry, I've been thinking, I want my chains back. Free him. The tree described is certainly not the one pictured, because that looks nothing like a banyan. I'd kinda got the title? This tree is still in chains. It was put in chains by a drunk guy a long time ago. I feel like some people just get confused by a long title or just say title gore to any long title, lol. Till after getting LASIK surgery, Horace Grant continued to wear his signature goggles without the prescription in order to remain a positive influence so kids who needed glasses would think it's cool. Holy shit, as a kid with glasses I loved him for that reason. I remember being so psyched when I got his autograph and was able to tell him as much directly back in the 90s when he was with Orlando. Also, his eyeballs were structurally less sound after LASIK, so wearing goggles protected him from going blind if he were poked in the eye on the court. Weird Al also got LASIK but wears the glasses still as that's what the fans want. Good guy Grant. I remember a set of Horace's sport goggles fitted to a water tower in Chicago. They were also fantastic eye protection for that era in the NBA. Till that Imperial Japanese General Hitoshi Imamura, who served 10 years in prison for war crimes, felt his sentence was too lenient and lived the rest of his life in a replica prison he built in his own garden. It sounds like he was at least remorseful and repentant for what he did. Well, at least he was committed. The pickup basketball games in the yard. Which one of you added he was a bad jap to his wiki? I mean, that's honorable to an extent. He should have used that time to go out and make a difference, somehow help the children, homeless, even just help old ladies crossing the street. The first hikikomori, bro really said the law was not hard enough on me, I'll do it myself. Imperial Japanese standards of honor are absolutely wild. This little snippet of knowledge I now know shows why I'm happy to sift through the steaming mounds of shitposts that is most of read as content, because gems like this make it worthwhile. Till that the Ship of Theseus article has been edited 1792 times since it was created in July of 2003. At present, 0 of the phrases in the original article remain. I love it. That's as meta as it gets. Yeah, but it's still the same article. Sheesh. Thank you Depths of Wikipedia, who posted this earlier on their Twitter account. I love the internet. I'm sure the original article contained the phrase Ship of Theseus though. What about the article and triggers broom? But then, has this copy of the original article? So which is the real article on the Ship of Theseus? So is it even the same article? It's not the same article, surely. Or is it? Hey, that's just like that philosophical question. Edit 3000. So the boat is. The original Ship of Theseus is now packing a boatload of irony. I request elaboration. Till the average lifespan of a pet cat has increased from 7 to 15 years between the early 1980s and 2021s. Cats have made great strides in their medical advances. My kitty passed last year at around 17 or so. I had him during some of my 20s, all through my 30s, and into my 40s. He was with me through a bad relationship, and came with me to my current one. Through having a child, and several moves. We went through a lot together. I never had a pet longer than Grumpy Boy Oscar. I think fewer people let them run outside. This avoids a wide range of perils. My grandmother had a barn cat that lived until damn near 20. Thomasina was ancient and just kept on going, till that citizens of Monaco are banned from gambling or working at casinos. The famed Monte Carlo casino is strictly for foreigners only. The casino is majority owned by the government, and it brings in enough tax revenue that the citizens do not need to pay any income tax. Well, duh. They don't want their citizens to end up broke. The idea is to fleece the foreigners, not get in debt themselves. Never get high on your own supply. Same for Baden-Baden. Wish I had seen this 6 years ago when I was on a Mediterranean cruise and we stopped at Monaco. It turns out you have to show your passport to enter the casino to prove you're not a citizen of Monaco. I didn't know that, so I had to go all the way back to the ship to get my passport out of the safe in my cabin. The Milky Way actually has milk in it. It's the only galaxy we know of that has milk. Now this is a proper shower thought. It has Milky Ways in it too. I'm willing to bet decillions of human money that Andromeda contains a version of milk as well. Oh, definitely the Milky Way's not just stars and galaxies, it's the universe's dairy section. Just grab a telescope and a cookie for intergalactic dunking. Lamps in video games use real electricity. Maybe it should be called the Milky Way. Not me thinking you meant the candy, lol. I was like, well yeah, most chocolate candies do. So strange. I was googling size of the Milky Way this morning. Do I live in a simulation? Loki thought you were talking about the actual Milky Way, not the chocolate bar. It contains 100 of all milk that has ever existed and likely will ever exist. The Milky Way actually has everything in it. Given that we named it, there's a very high probability that whatever it was named would exist on Earth. 3 men die on Christmas Eve. AKA 145. I sent this to my friend Carol. Never heard this one. Pretty good. I thought they would be from a nun. Sister Carol's. Thought he was going to flip the waistband around to show Holly written on them. Lol. Baha at this. 145. Very seasonal. The Englishman pulls out a lighter Christmas candle. The Irishman pulls out his hip flask Christmas spirit. The Scotsman thinks for a bit, then whips out his giant. St. Peter asks, why would you show me that? Scotsman, well it's a fucking cracker in it. The fourth man was a Jew who said, I'm Larry David and I happen to enjoy wearing women's panties. 145.6. That is how many years I have seen this posted. And we all know there's Nolan Christmas. Repost. This is 145. Vegans need to stop judging each other's food choices. I did not expect the spinach inquisition. We don't need that kind of beef. Nobody expects the spinach inquisition. Our chief weapon is saffron. And fennel. Fennel and saffron are 2 weapons. Lettuce eat cake. This is an old one. I've definitely herbivore. Beat it. Celery that coming. I heard that at the spinach inquisition, the buffet tables are always crowded because of the Moorish invasion. Now, let us be reasonable here, and stop all this arrogating. Dear Lord, not the spinach inquisition again. No one expects the spinach inquisition. Sorry, I can't help it. Exactly, don't throw a temper tantrum. I'm helping all vegans by eating all those pesky animals that eat their veggies. Or another salad bar. That would be unexpected. So do 2 vegans have a meeting of the mind? No. Shan't. That was unexpected. Walking home late last night, I passed a slice of apple pie, a hot fudge sundae, and a lemon cheesecake. I thought to myself, on dark desert highway, cool wind in my hair. At least you can have your cake and eat it alone. Don't go getting all flaky on us. Consider yourself lucky you could have been mugged by the hot cocoa, assaulted by some caramels. Great. Now I want lemon cheesecake. Must have been a sweet ride. Oh, calm down. It's just desserts. Thanks, Dad. Those desserts are your best friends. They won't desert you. You wouldn't have happened to be pushing an a la carte? This joke was amusing. Was it on Sunday? Hilarious. You've been hit by a smooth caramel. Beware, it's a moose trap. What is a seemingly insignificant choice you made that ended up having a major impact on your life? Took a Percocet for a herniated disc. Liked how for the first time in my life I had no pain. Wish I had never realized what I was missing. Now I'm sober 10 plus years, but still, what a waste of time. A friend invited me to join her prom. Almost said no but decided to go. They had a raffle there and I won a scholarship and got my degree in business management. Took a random job at a vet clinic for some extra money while looking for jobs in my degree field. Found my absolute passion. Checked out a new tea shop that had opened up a few blocks down. I ended up befriending the owner, and she told me about a coding boot camp. I was working as a stripper at the time. Changed my whole career and life trajectory. What product is the biggest scam? but people like it anyway. Herbalife, they must have done something special to manage to sell it to a lot of people. Copper Fit products. Timeshares. I feel like streaming platforms are starting to swing into scam territory by baiting everyone into joining with no ads and a low price. Then, raising the prices and bringing back ads. Alkaline water. Diamonds. Home warranty insurance on appliances. You spend upwards of $1.2K a year so that you don't have to buy a new $800 washer or $1,200 fridge outright if they go out? Just put the payment away for an appliance fund and you come out ahead 9 times out of 10. Minor textbook upgrades that the colleges require students to pay hundreds for to pass the class. What slowly turned into porn, ASMR and or anything with feet in the media. This subreddit, OnlyFans. I think it wasn't slowly, but it wasn't porn at first. OnlyFans. It originally wasn't for porn. They still harbor delusions that it's much more than that. Getting stuck under the bed. Halloween costumes. According to Rule 34, everything ASMR has started too. There's still plenty of creators doing normal stuff, but I feel like it's been getting more suggestive lately. Instagram. Getting stuck in the washer dryer. Fox. It turned into a hardcore sex channel so gradually, I didn't even notice. Every thumbnail I see on Snapchat's little stories tab is porn, or wants to look like porn. Same with YouTube Shorts if I ever visit the site when I'm not logged in. I think social media in general is porn. The word daddy. All the girls that went to LA for acting. What was something that was done in the name of safety that turned out to be more dangerous than the hazard that it was intended to prevent? Trans fats. Needed something that was vegetable-based replacement for saturated fats that are bad for you. Overvigilance in forest fire protection lead to buildup of burnable materials and hotter more destructive fires were the result. Password rules. Many reduce the number of possible passwords instead of increasing it. Binding a broken rib, which can cause pneumonia, so they no longer do that. When the Deepwater Horizon oil rig blew up and dumped crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico, the chemical Corexit was used to disperse it. Turns out it was about 10 times worse than the crude oil itself and also caused the oil to just sink to the bottom of the Gulf, where it poisoned the entire food web. The war on drugs. I have spilled more gasoline because of the mandated godforsaken no-spill spouts than I ever did with a simple tube.